You. Let me see. What's up? Let's see what's up. Let's see if we can get some people on here. Let's see. This shit don't work. I'm just dipping off this joint, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me see. Dipping off this joint, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me see. Dipping off this joint, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me see. What's up? June 15th in this bitch. What's up? See. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, yo. My fault for the difficulties, the technical difficulties and all that shit, bro. Little shit like that just make me not want to do this live shit at all, but fuck it. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. My boy Teach, what up? Stop Motion, what up? Tito, what's going on? Ghost, Tesla, Lorenzo, Stop Motion, what's going on? Yes, yeah, I don't know what's up with that, bro. That's unusual. Like, back when I was like using other Wi-Fi and shit, like some public Wi-Fi, I was having that type issue a little bit. But even then, that shit was kind of reliable. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a weird situation, but it is what it is, bro. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's the actual streaming service. I don't know what it is, but regardless, we in the building. Shout out to my boy Lorenzo with the $5 super chat. He says, we appreciate you, my brother. Let's get this boxing talk. Yeah, for sure. Let's get into it, man. So we got some things to talk about. You know what I mean? We could talk about that little clip that has surfaced from Ryan Garcia and stuff like that with him seeming to hurt a sparring partner. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like he had caught the sparring partner with like a left hook that he didn't see, and he did the little chicken dance or whatever. And a lot of people are speculating that Ryan Garcia seems to be extremely focused. He's training, he's doing everything he needs to do, and that's great news. You know what I'm saying? Because we was hella concerned at one point that the fight wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? We were concerned that the fight wasn't going to happen. This man is talking all this gibberish, and he still is. You know what I mean? He definitely still out here wilding and shit like that. You know what I mean? So we was concerned at one point in time that, they was going to pull Ryan Garcia away from this fight to the point where, New York State Athletic Commission was about to get involved. And it seems like ever since they did that, Ryan Garcia has been staying quiet. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden he seems to be all right. So, hopefully he keeps it that way. We got a little bit of time until the fight. It is currently, it's 12 in the morning here now. So technically it's April 2nd. So we got about 2.5 weeks until the fight happens. So the fight is extremely close. It'll be here before we know it. And hopefully we have a great fight, man. I'm kind of interested to see how they styles match up after all these years of not fighting each other. They got 6 fights between each other in the amateurs. They keep talking about it. That's been like a big part of their storyline. Being 3-3 in the amateurs, Ryan cooking them when he was young and inexperienced, but as Devin Haney matured into a good boxer, a good intelligent boxer, it seems like Devin Haney started to separate himself from Ryan as they got older. So now, they both grown ass men now. They're in their mid-20s, arguably in their primes. And they fighting each other at the elite level in the pros, completely different setting, longer rounds, more time to think. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be intriguing to see who actually, who surpassed who, after all this time. Because, they've been knowing each other since they were 9 or 10 years old. Now they 25, 26, however old they are. You know what I mean? I know we all around like myself, Ryan, and Dev, we around the same age group. So let's say between 24 to 26 years old. So let's see how that turns out, man. But Ryan Garcia, he has that type of speed and power that it'll probably be hard to pick up on in sparring and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So uh, it's not hard to believe that he's clipping people and sparring and actually hurting them and shit like that. Especially these lower tier guys that don't know how to deal with somebody who's as fast and powerful as Ryan. You feel what I mean? Stop Motion MMA says Ryan gonna turn into Andrew Galata. Damn. Okay. Shit, I hope not. Sheesh. Did you see Shakur say he don't care if he headbutt his next opponent, he want the stoppage regardless? Yeah, that's just Shakur being Shakur, man. Just talking out his ass. Like, bro, if you headbutt dude, you're not gonna get the stoppage. You're gonna get disqualified. Fucking idiot. Like, what is you talking about? But Shakur, he just talking. He just talking. He just having his own little banter and shit like that. Let that man breathe. You know what I mean? He be all right. I mean, at this point in time, he might as well stop this dude. Like if he's really farting, I said farting, that's crazy. Fighting Artem Harutanyan, whatever the fuck his name is, he better stop him. He better stop him. Like I know Frank Martin wasn't able to, and that was a close competitive fight, whatever the case may be. But after all the criticism you done faced, after all the bashing, bro, like your career took such a hit after that performance against Edwin De Los Santos, bro. You should be coming out guns blazing, looking to prove something that really silence the people. You already shown time and time again that you care about what the people think, bro. You so invested on social media. You're so invested in the responding to others. You're so invested emotionally on social media that there's no doubt in my mind that you care about what people think. You care about how the fans perceive you. So if that's the case, you need to be making sure that you get this stoppage, bro. You know what I mean? If you don't drop him, cool. If you don't hurt him, cool. But you better beat that man into submission. No Diddy. For sure. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about the situation, bro. There's no reason at all why Haratunyan or whatever the fuck his name is making it the distance with you. And my apologies if I'm messing the names up. You know what I mean? It's hard to pronounce some of these dudes' names that are Europeans. You know what I mean? So my apologies in advance. But that was pretty much what I wanted to get off with Ryan Garcia and stuff like that, bro. We wasn't going to dwell too long on that situation at all, honestly. So let's get into the real shit, man. Let's speak about the fights that had went on this weekend. I spoke about it a little bit on the last live I had went on after doing my live fight commentary. But now that we've had time to speak to let the fights marinate and just give us an understanding of what happened and just really analyze things, we could come back fresh. We could come back fresh and really have a discussion about this. What's next for these guys? Let's start with Errol Lara and Mike Zarafa. Now, I don't know where Mike Zarafa goes from here. He was never like a high-tier fighter in all honesty or anything of that nature. So, I'm sure he'll go back to the drawing board. And, Mike Zarafa versus somebody like, Karan Davis will probably be a solid fight. That'd probably be a solid competitive fight. If not, Julian Williams is still around. Julian Williams, in all honesty, man, it's no disrespect to Breadman or nothing like that because he did a great job with Julian Williams and he helped that man become a unified world champion. You know what I'm saying? But, he's on the decline. You know what I mean? And Mike Zarafa is not that great of a fighter in all honesty. It's no disrespect. There's just levels to this, and Zarafa hasn't really done anything to show me that, he's like a top dog at 160. So why not? Julian Williams versus Mike Zarafa, or maybe his J-Rock stablemate Karan Davis versus Mike Zarafa would be a solid fight. You know what I mean? Since Elijah Garcia had to pull out due to being sick. You see what I mean? So, that's what I would say with Mike Zarafa, what he could probably do next. Now, in terms of Errol Lara, I hope that he's still able to get that fight with Danny Garcia, man. Why not? Why not, bro? Like that fight makes plenty of sense in my opinion. Danny Garcia says he wants to be a 3-weight class world champion. I think the last time they were trying to fight each other, I think Danny was trying to bring him down to a catch weight, which shouldn't really bother Erislandy Lara at all because he never came across to me as somebody who walked around really heavy. And I think that he went up to 160 because there was nothing left for him at 154. And I think that he had made that move to 160 in all honesty to get the big fights with like Triple G and shit like that. But unfortunately, it never came to fruition. It never came to reality. So maybe he's just there because, he had the opportunity to grab a title and become a 2-division world champion, which Erislandy Lara did. You know what I mean? Now, that was a sensational knockout against Mike Zarafa, man. It was a beautiful pull counter. You know what I mean? Floyd will usually pull, and then he'll shoot the right hand. Erislandy Lara pulled just to get out of range by centimeters, and then came back with a beautiful 1-2. What made the shot so devastating when looking back on it was Zarafa wasn't looking at his direction. So obviously, there's a quote that goes around in boxing, and the quote is, you get hurt by the shots you don't see. The shots you don't see will hurt you. And that's exactly what happened with Zarafa. He wasn't looking at Erislandy Lara's direction, which is why coaches strongly advise you to always keep your eyes on your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Always protect yourself at all times and always keep your eyes on your opponent. Zarafa violated that rule. He paid the price for it. You know what I mean? So Erislandy Lara, I love to see how, he's gotten older. I think he's understanding that he's gotten older. His legs aren't what they used to be. He's not as mobile. He wouldn't be as effective mobily than he was at one point in time. So what did he do? He became a sniper, bro. He became a sniper. So he's planted his feet, trusted his defense for the most part, and, throw punches with bad intentions, turning his shots over, sitting down on his punches. And he's been getting some devastating knockouts in the process of developing or molding himself, evolving into that style. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Erislandy Lara, man. I think they say he's the oldest world champion in boxing today, like currently. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he do next because he deserves an opportunity, man. Erislandy Lara has been on top of his game for well over a decade, bro. Like, when did he fight Paul Williams? Like, he been one of them dudes at 54 for a very long time. He came up short in certain bouts, whether we talking about Canelo, which I thought he won, Jarrett Hurd, which was a very close fight. There was, I believe those are the only fights that he lost, really. I don't think he's lost since Jarrett Hurd. But regardless, man, he's been relevant. He's been a well-respected fighter for many years amongst hardcore boxing fans. So I think it's that time to get him a big fight, man. So why not Erislandy Lara versus Danny Garcia? That's a great fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a great fight. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I understand that Danny Garcia is from Philadelphia. He's a Puerto Rican just like myself. You know what I'm saying? So it would be dope to see him beat Erislandy Lara. However, thinking about things objectively, I don't see how Danny beats Erislandy Lara. I'm going to keep it 1,000. You know what I mean? Like, I understand Danny has only had one fight at 154 pounds, and this was against a guy who came up from 140 pounds just like himself. Erislandy Lara is somebody who has the significant reach advantage. He's a natural. I mean, if you want to call him a blown up middleweight, cool, but he came up in a division and naturally came into a division higher than Danny. So it's safe to say that he's the bigger man. And Danny Garcia has great punching power, but will them wide no look hooks that Danny be throwing, can they land on Erislandy Lara? Is Lara going to give him opportunities to counter him? These are things that we really got to take into consideration. And in terms of, being the more intelligent fighter, it's Erislandy Lara, hands down. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia is flat-footed. You know what I mean? Just like how Erislandy Lara has been lately. And just like Keith Thurman said, Keith Thurman broke down Danny Garcia perfectly. He said, I never fought somebody who was so content with being second. You know what I'm saying? And I think because he'll be looking to play the counterpuncher role so much against Erislandy Lara, I see Erislandy Lara outboxing him. I think that Erislandy Lara comes from, a pedigree where, like, you outbox them dudes all day. You know what I mean? That this would just be another sparring partner in the gym for Erislandy Lara. You know what I mean? And am I calling Danny Garcia a sparring partner? Not necessarily, but what I'm trying to say is they on different levels up here in terms of like ring intelligence and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So Danny Garcia got experience against southpaws. You know what I mean? He fought Zab Judah and shit like that. Errol Spence. He's had his fair amount of southpaws, but I don't think neither one of those southpaws approaches boxing like Erislandy Lara does. You know, so that's just what I personally believe. I think Erislandy Lara will, outbox Danny Garcia. Now, in terms of knocking Danny Garcia out, I don't think so. I think that Danny Garcia has one of the best chins in boxing. Pause. You feel what I mean? He's one of the most durable dudes. Like there isn't many times where I've seen this man rocked. I've seen him off balance and shit like that. He probably got hurt against Matisse when his mouthpiece got knocked out. But regardless, he's a very durable dude. He's a tough motherfucker, and he don't got no quit in him. So as long as you got them type of qualities, you always gain. So, I wish the best for both guys. You know what I mean? But I do think that Erislandy Lara will be the favorite going into that fight. You know what I mean? In my book. I don't know how the sports bettors and all that shit gonna have it, but in my head, I think Erislandy Lara will be the favorite against Danny Garcia. That's just what I personally believe. And I think Danny Garcia is so how can you say this? I think that he's so like motivated and taking this fight against Erislandy Lara because he noticed the change in his style. He's like, oh, he flat-footed now. He willing to trade with people. Oh man, yeah, I want to fight somebody like that. I think he sees something within Erislandy Lara that he could take advantage of. Because Danny Garcia is that type of dude. He's not the type of dude that'll call you out or, drop and do all this name dropping. But what he will do is be optimistic and let you know that he's optimistic about a fight if he sees something within that fighter that he feels like he can exploit. Like when Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia was one of the people that came out and be like, yo, I would love to fight you. Of course you would, because with somebody who's reckless, come forward pressure fighter like Jeff Horn, it'll give you a whole bunch of opportunities to hurt the man or possibly knock him out, and you'll be able to win the WBO world title. That's why you was pretty optimistic about facing the man, because you seen holes in him stylistically that you felt like could be tailor-made for your style. That's all that is. Shout out to my boy Ralph in the building. He says, I don't think it will happen because Danny has one of the best chins in boxing, but imagine if Lara stops Danny. If he stops Danny, then that's absolutely crazy. But at that point, it's like, all right, Erislandy Lara really needs to get himself a big fight. You know what I mean? And I don't know what Jermell Charlo is doing right now, but I did hear some things about him possibly moving up the middleweight in his next bout. You know what I mean? So Jermell Charlo versus Erislandy Lara. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Jermell Charlo at certain points didn't really want to mention Erislandy Lara's name. They was both with Ronnie Shields at one point in time. They might have had some sparring sessions. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because they were at the same division at the same time with the same trainer. So I'm assuming they got some work in before. Why not? That's a good fight. That'll be a good debut for Jermell Charlo to face Erislandy Lara. That's a banger. And that's a 40-year-old Lara. You better go over there and, you know what I mean, do what it take to beat that man. That man not getting any younger. So what's up? Let's see it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. That's just me. I like it. You feel me? Ralph says I rock with Danny, but Danny can only knock you out if you're a come forward fighter and you are easily susceptible to counters. If you have good movement and boxing ability, you could easily beat Danny. I just feel like if you are first and have any type of defensive responsibility, you could beat Danny. You know what I'm saying? Because like Errol Spence, when he fought Danny, he wasn't doing too much movement. You know what I'm saying? But he did have boxing ability, like you said, Ralph. And, I just think that he overwhelmed him with volume. Danny Garcia, he can be very hesitant at times because he's very reluctant to lead. He's such a natural counter puncher that if you don't give him any opportunities to counter, he's not going to be that, how can I say, he's not going to be like he's not gonna be very like willing to throw a lot of punches. You know what I'm saying? And you watch that with Earl Spence. He didn't really throw that many punches, but then towards the end, when it was like the last 10 seconds of the 12th round, then he started letting his hands go. So it just lets you know it's a mental thing with Danny. If you don't give him a lot of opportunities to counter, then there's a strong likelihood that he won't be throwing much at all. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Well, at 54, when he fought Jose Benavidez, he did let his hands go a lot, threw a lot of combinations and shit like that, and was just like outworking Jose, just outplaying him. So maybe his style is changing as he's moving up in weight. I don't know. But regardless, I just don't see him being there as Landy Lara, period. I don't. You know what I mean? And, I'm just keeping it 1,000. I mean, I'm doing my best here. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all and act like, you know what I mean, Danny's the better boxer or something like that. That's not the case at all. You know what I mean? It's definitely not the case. But yeah, that's just my take on the situation, man. But if y'all seeing the stream right now, man, hit the like button as soon as you come in, man. If you appreciate the content, you know what I mean. I just dropped a great video. It's probably one of the best informational videos that I have put out yet, and it's Terence Crawford versus the politics of boxing, his toughest opponent to date. Go check that out, man. I just dropped that a little less than an hour ago. You know what I mean? I'm providing you a lot of information on, the upbringing of Terence Crawford, his highs, his lows, and what he's currently going through right now with PBC. But if not, then just let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about Terence Crawford and exactly what's going on with him. T said he got Danny. You giving Danny the edge? That's what's up. That's what's up. I respect that. Anybody that's that stand on their opinion and just don't agree with me all the time, I could respect it. You know what I mean? He said, I'm giving Danny the edge in the fight. I loved how he looked against Jose. Plus, he's always looked like a solid boxer. Definitely, Danny's like, that's the thing. A lot of people act like Danny Garcia don't got no skills. To get as far as he did and beat the opponents that he has beat, especially at 140, you got to have skills. You know what I mean? He got Hall of Famers on his resume that he's knocked out. You feel me? And dropped and hurt and beat up on. So saying that he lacks skills, that's not truthful at all. You know what I mean? I just think that Landy Lara come from a higher level of boxing. You know what I mean? I think that he'll have a lot of trouble with Lara. But if there was a situation, I think the only way he could beat Lara is if he knock him out. That's just what I think. I can't see this man outpointing and winning the majority of a 12-round fight against Landy Lara. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I've been watching Lara for a very long time. I've been watching Danny for a very long time. I know what these guys are capable of doing. I see how well they box. I see who's the more intelligent fighter, and it's not Danny. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. But we got 16 people in the building, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching MarkMazuma TV, man. We on the road to 2K. I think let's see how many subscribers we're off. We need 9 more. 9 more subscribers, and we're gonna hit that 1,800 mark, man. Shout out to the nation and the mob for getting the channel where it needs to go. You see what I'm saying? For sure, for sure. But let's talk about Terence Crawford, man, and exactly what's going on with him. Now, I broke down in the video that I had made earlier that, Terence Crawford has been a victim to politics numerous times in his career. You know what I'm saying? At 135, he was able to win a world title against Ricky Burns and stuff like that in the men's, I believe, home country. Went up to 140 pounds, and that's when the politics started to creep in a little bit, just slightly. You know what I mean? He was able to become undisputed, so it paid off at the end. He was able to get through that type time. But it was a little bit of pushback in the process of him becoming undisputed in the 140-pound division. I remember Julius Ndongo was unified world champion at the same time that Terence Crawford was, and they was looking to make that fight happen. 2 belts on the line, and whoever wins will become undisputed. And I believe prior to that, I think the last undisputed champion was like Jermaine Taylor or something like that. So it was a long stretch between Terence Crawford and the last undisputed champion. And, you know, Terence Crawford pretty much made that a trend all over again, bro. Like he made Undisputed cool to do again. Because when it was the Floyd Mayweather era, you know, Floyd didn't really give a fuck about having all 4 belts. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to pay all them sanctioning fees. So, you know, he will keep like 1 or 2 belts. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like when he got that 3rd one off Pacquiao, he gave it up right away because he wasn't paying no sanctioning fees. So Floyd just he didn't really take a liking to Undisputed, but Terence Crawford did. And you see everybody that has followed in his footsteps since then. Whether we talking about Usyk, whether we talking about Naoya Inoue, Devin Haney, the list goes on and on and on. Even the female fighters, you know what I'm saying? He just made it cool to be Undisputed. But in the process of him getting that Julius Ndongo fight, I believe the IBF was giving him a hard time with trying to make that fight happen due to like mandatories and shit like that. But you know, thanks to the boxing fans applying pressure on this sanctioning body to make this fight happen, we were able to see Undisputed. So Terence Crawford goes up, you know, goes to 147, faces Jeff Horn in his first fight at 47. He becomes a WBO welterweight champion, I believe. I believe in his first fight at 47, he became champion against Jeff Horn after Jeff Horn defeated Manny Pacquiao. Now, this is when Terence Crawford started to, you know, feel the effects of like the politics of boxing. You see what I mean? Because when he was at 147 pounds, he always expressed his desires to fight the legend and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. This is something that we do know. You know what I mean? It was a fight that he was calling out for a long time. He was trying to be optimistic and, you know, he didn't come out disrespectful or anything like that. He just spoke about the fight that he wanted. And for a long time, you know, the fight wasn't coming together, and there was a lot of speculation as to why that fight wasn't happening. A lot of people assumed that it was because of Manny Pacquiao not wanting to fight. You know what I mean? Which I highly doubt, in all honesty, because, you know, throughout the entire course of Manny Pacquiao's career, he's fought dangerous competition. You know what I mean? From the beginning to the middle to the end. You know what I mean? Like one of his last fights in his professional career was against a dangerous Keith Thurman. You feel me? Adrian Broner. He's fought the young guys. He's fought the experienced guys. So I don't think it was on the end of Manny Pacquiao. However, you know, an interview had came out with Bob Arum a while back where he said that he didn't want to give the Terence Crawford the fight with Manny Pacquiao because he worried for Manny Pacquiao's like health, his safety. You see what I mean? Pretty much admitting to like knowing that if Terence Crawford and Pacquiao were to fight, that most likely it wouldn't go in Pacquiao's favor. You feel what I mean? So Terence Crawford owns promoter is blocking him out of the biggest fight of his career that could have really threw him into superstardom if he came out victorious, right? So that was one thing right there. And I think ever since then, Top Rank and Terence Crawford's relationship started to plummet. It started to diminish. You feel what I mean? So moving on from there, you know, now that he's not able to get that Manny Pacquiao fight, and I think what pissed Crawford off on top of that was Errol Spence was, you know, when Top Rank was acting optimistic about Terence Crawford facing Pacquiao, all of a sudden Pacquiao versus Errol is announced. You know what I'm saying? This was before Errol got the eye injury and all that shit, and they had to replace Errol with Ugas or whatever. Errol Spence posts the fight between him and Manny Pacquiao and says #blame Bob. You know what I'm saying? Blame Bob. You know what I mean? Which pretty much is Errol Spence saying that, yo, like, Bob ruined your opportunity for this fight right here. You feel what I'm saying? So that was another thing. So it seemed like things started to go downhill between him and Bob Arum since that situation. You know what I mean? So now he's trying to get the fights against the big dogs over at PBC while he's with Top Rank, because at that point in time, PBC had the best welterweights in the world, whether we talking about Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. The list goes on and on and on. You feel me? And the whole time that Terence Crawford was calling these guys out to try to get a fight going, you know, they kept bringing up this other side of the street bullshit. You know what I mean? I heard Errol Spence say that shit time and time again. And it was just something that I really took at the time as like, you know, they're not really in a rush to fight this man. You know what I mean? They all got each other over there. They're going to all fight each other before they go over, and they go over to the Top Rank side and try to fight him. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what Errol did. Errol told Crawford to his face, why would I fight you? What the fuck? I forgot exactly what he said, but he was like, why would I go fight you when I could just beat these guys over here first, then come see you? And that's exactly what he did because, obviously he got the IBF off Kel. He got the WBC off Sean Porter. And then he went to take the WBA from Eudenis Ugas after he defeated Manny Pacquiao. So now, Terence Crawford is really trying to lock in on this fight with Errol Spence, but there's a lot of hold up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hold up because let's keep it 1,000. Them people at PBC and Showtime, both of them, I guess we would say, didn't really want Errol Spence to fight Terence Crawford. They felt like that. I guess they was feeling like he was a high risk, low reward type fight. They was trying to point him in another direction. They wanted Errol to fight Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was bringing Keith Thurman told you he signed his end of the contract. You know what I'm saying? So that means that he was presented a contract. He was given an offer by them guys at Showtime and offered a contract. Keith Thurman signed his portion of the contract. So that lets you know right there that that's what they initially wanted. You know what I'm saying? So they was trying to cut Terence Crawford out of the deal that entire time. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to cut him out the entire time. But now that fell through because Errol Spence wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't liking how he wasn't feeling the direction they was pointing him in. You know what I mean? And he let them know, like, yo, I don't want no fight besides this one, so make this shit happen. So, Terence Crawford, he's trying to make sure he gets the most out of this situation as well. He came to the table and he told the guys what he wanted. He questioned things in the contract. You feel what I mean? As a fighter should do, he should put himself in the best situation possible. And they were complaining about it. So they would go to Errol and be like, yo, but he want this. And then Errol was like, yo, bro, that's what he want. Give it to him. Whatever he asks for, just give it to him. Just make the fight happen. And I think like Steven Espinoza had put out like an interview talking about like he was throwing laptops and shit like that. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, y'all don't want him to fight Bud that bad. Y'all getting that frustrated with like him negotiating. He negotiating just like any other fighter should or any other manager or promoter should. You feel what I mean? So that just lets you know how anti-Bud they were at this point in time. But Bud was able to overcome those obstacles due to Errol Spence's competitive nature and his willingness to, put everything on the line against Bud. You feel me? To really prove that he was the best in the division. He was really trying to make that claim for himself. You feel me? So now, obviously, Terence Crawford destroys Errol Spence, and he comes out victorious and shit like that. So now, fast forward, we're at the 154-pound division. Terence Crawford has not fought since the Errol Spence fight, man. He's been inactive. He was speaking about getting the Canelo Alvarez fight, and he wasn't able to. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't able to get that fight. So now he got his eyes set on the 154-pound division. And it was to the point where, he reached out to the president of the WBO and was like, yo, can you make me the mandatory for the winner of Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora? The WBO granted him that. And, they made that clear off of the rip. You feel me? Like that's the direction that Terence Crawford was going to go in. And they said they were going to mandate it as early as next week. So, as the fight gets closer, I believe the day of the weigh-in, Errol Spence puts out a tweet that says, headed to Vegas, I want the winner. So now Errol Spence is including himself in the mix as potential opponents for, obviously Sebastian Fundora, who came out victorious Saturday night. So now Terence Crawford is in a situation where he may very well get fucked over. He may very well get fucked over, bro, because I seen that little interview that Leonard Ellaby had. And this just goes to prove that like what I've been saying about Leonard Ellaby just holds true, man. This dude is a cancer to the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because he just condones all of this shit that just pushes the sport of boxing backwards. The over-marinating fights and, justifying the BS that happens behind boxing and, clearly seeing fighters ducking and defending those type of fighters and just chalking it all up to the business of boxing and shit like that, not holding fighters accountable and all this bullshit that Leonard Ellaby does. But, he was saying how Errol Spence would get the opportunity before Bud because he's family, meaning that he's under the PBC banner just like Sebastian Fundora. And, I hate that Leonard Ellaby said that. I hate that he said that, but the reality of the situation is it may be true. It may be true, bro. Errol Spence might find his way into that fight just because he's under the PBC banner and Terence Crawford isn't. And I don't know what it is nowadays, but like promoters hate the idea of an independent fighter, bro. An independent fighter, bro, they hate it for some reason. And I think it, in all honesty, is because they don't have power over that fighter. That fighter can move about this game however he wants. They can move. He could do whatever, whenever he feels like it. And I think it's more specifically towards like black fighters. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Like for Devin Haney to get that opportunity against Kambosos, he had to sign a shitty deal with Top Rank. You see what I mean? He had to sign like a 3-fight deal. Had to come on the B side and all types of stuff. He had to do the rematch clause with Kambosos, which was really unnecessary because it wasn't a competitive fight in the beginning. Then they tried to line him up with Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Because they thought Lomachenko had a chance of taking the belts away from Devin Haney and, keeping all 4 belts over at the Top Rank side. But, by the grace of God, it didn't go that way. You feel what I mean? But there's been other fighters that everybody seems to do really good business with when they're independent fighters. Like Canelo Alvarez, he could go wherever fucking network he wants, and he could make a fight deal with the Zone. Then he could go over to PBC. Then he could go back to the Zone. Then he could collab with Golden Boy and PBC at the same time. But you never hear promoters like try to tie Canelo Alvarez to shitty business deals and stuff like that. If he's signing any type of deal, it's for major figures. Like, you know what I mean? Mikey Garcia was another one. Like, as soon as he split with Top Rank, he never committed strictly to one network or one promoter. This man had done business all across the board. He went to the Zone. He beat up on Jesse Vargas. Then he comes over to PBC. He fights Errol. He fights Broner. He fights Robert Easter and Dejan Zlatikin and all that shit. I just find it weird that, because I'm sure PBC would have gave Bud plenty of opportunities. They would have given him plenty of opportunities if he signed with them. But because he's an independent dude and they really not benefiting off of him, they don't want to cash out their fighters against him. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an observation that I've noticed, in all honesty, bro. But it may very well be a situation where Terence Crawford is fucked over from this situation, man. And it's unfortunate because there's nobody on that list that we just named, whether it's Tim Tszyu, whether it's Errol Spence, or Terence Crawford himself. Nobody is more deserving than him of this opportunity. Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. Lorenzo says Terence Crawford is PBC kryptonite. Yeah, and I think they understand that. Which is why, they've been like giving him the stiff arm, pause, just keeping him at a distance, not allowing him to get too close. You know what I'm saying? Because the last time he got close, he got rid of one of their cash cows and made him look extremely bad. You feel me? PBC don't want to keep losing belts to Bud. That's what it is. They don't want to keep cashing out their guys to somebody who's not somebody they're not benefiting from, somebody that they're not signed to. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big reason why Jaron Ennis isn't getting them big opportunities neither, because he has like a good relationship with PBC and stuff like that, but he's not a PBC fighter. So I think that's ultimately why he wasn't given the Keith Thurmans and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because, PBC probably, Al Heyman probably looking at it like, yo, he not signed with me. You know what I'm saying? So why would I give him one of my guys that he could easily come up off of he could come up on and I don't benefit from it. He's just gonna move on and leave me stuck in the dust. So before, I cash one of my guys out, he got to be signed over with me. You know what I'm saying? I heard that from credible sources as to why, certain fights isn't happening with Boots at this point in time because, you know what I mean? He's just going to run off with the victory and just leave us flat. And now our money all fucked up. Now we crumbling and we got to rebuild. No, if we're going to cash our fighter out, we got to make sure that we have some type of ties to that fighter. You know what I'm saying? Stop Motion MMA says, I think the PBC was too confident in Spence winning. I don't think they were confident at all. I think that's why there was a lot of pushback on Spence fighting Bud, to keep it 1,000 with you. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of, bro, like I said, PBC wanted Errol to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman said they gave him a contract, and he signed that shit because they was pretty confident. PBC and Showtime was pretty confident that Errol was going to accept that because the Crawford negotiations were falling through. But Errol Spence made one last effort and was like, yo, I don't want that fight. I want this fight, so make it happen. So he pretty much forced them people to make that Crawford fight happen because he wasn't budging off of his square. You know what I'm saying? So that it wasn't, I don't think they were too confident. I think it was the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So now the whole thing is, now they're trying to force Errol Spence in the mix at 154 to face Sebastian Fundora, to the point where we got managers out here, when Tim Tszú's manager was all confident prior to the loss, he was talking about how, Tszú will vacate the WBO title just to face Errol, while knowing that Bud will be the mandatory in the next fight. So that just lets you know everything you need to know right there, bro. It's like they're willing to abandon a belt that Crawford would be the mandatory for just to avoid him and fight Errol Spence. If that's not the politics of boxing, going after Terence Crawford, if that's not Terence Crawford being a victim to the politics of boxing, then I don't know what is. And it's sad, bro, because, Terence Crawford, keep it a buck, bro. He's supposed to be a lot bigger than what he is right now in terms of popularity, in terms of being a household name. There's been so many situations where Bud could have possibly been, a household name or be that next big star in boxing and do some great numbers. You know what I mean? But, he was just taken out of those opportunities, whether we talking about, the Manny Pacquiao fight not happening or, PBC and Showtime creating this stigma behind the fact that, Bud is hard to do business with. And, Bob Arum came out here and said that he lost so much money on Bud that he could have used that money to build a house in Beverly Hills. It was a lot of people trying to destroy Bud on his road to success, man. And I'm just happy that, as soon as he left Top Rank, he was able to get the legacy defining win in his career, because it felt like Top Rank was giving him fights, but nothing that was, worthy of like solidifying his legacy. Like you fighting old Amir Khan, you fighting old Kell Brooks, you fighting, Sean Porter on his way out. We didn't know it was on his way out, but he retired immediately afterwards and has not come back to boxing since then. Like, why are you fighting? Who else did he fight? Jose Benavidez, man. They was demanding the Spence fight at that time. They were demanding all types of other fights. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting Jose Benavidez. Why? There was a lot of people trying to, even his own promoter at the time. And then Bob Arum was like, all like confused when Bud left. It was like, bro, you try to destroy this man. You know what I'm saying? You try to destroy this man on his way up. He just wanted to be great. And you did everything you could to try to destroy this man's reputation because you knew he was stepping away from Top Rank once that deal was up. Once that fight with Sean Porter was over. You know he was walking away. So what was you going to do? You were going to try to destroy that man. But you couldn't. Bud is not only undefeated in the ring thus far, but it seems like Bud is undefeated outside of the ring when dealing with the politics of boxing. You know what I mean? Specifically with PBC. Errol favored Lomachenko over Crawford. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, Terence Crawford will beat the dog shit. Oh, you talking about, okay, in terms of like, like preferring fighters. Of course, because Loma got the complexion for the protection, bro. Top ranking them, they love promoting European fighters, bro. They love Puerto Rican fighters. They love Eastern Europeans. You know what I'm saying? They love their Mexican fighters. They know how to sell them. Bob Arum, I believe he's even admitted in the past to not knowing how to promote black fighters. He's always had trouble with promoting black fighters. Because I think out of all these cultures that he promotes, it seems like the black fighter doesn't have the country that backs them. Like the Puerto Rican fighter, they have a country behind them. Mexican fighters, they have a country behind them. When Lomachenko fights, you see them Ukraine flags all over the fucking place. But when black people fight, what kind of flags do we see? That's probably how they look at it. Now, I have a totally different opinion. I think that black fighters, just looking at, boxing's history, they're the most sellable fighters in the world. Look at all of the pay-per-view kings in their era coming up in boxing. How many of them were not black? Floyd Mayweather, black. Mike Tyson, black. Evander Holyfield, black. Oscar De La Hoya is the exception. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, black fighters are some of the highest selling fighters in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ralph says, you know why Errol favored Loma. I'm not going to say why, but there was a distinct difference in looks when it comes to Bud and Loma. That's a fact. You know what I mean? But, when they were discussing the possibility of Loma fighting Crawford, Loma team come out and said that would have been career suicide. So that lets you know everything you need to know. Straight like that. I remember when they was they had posted like Lomachenko up on ESPN and they put his record as undefeated. I'm like, what? Hold up. He lost. At the time, he had one loss to Orlando Salido. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? You know what I'm saying? They did a lot of slick shit behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It was a lot of things they did for Lomachenko. Lomachenko came off of losses and jumps right back into title shots. Like, bro, he lost to he lost to Orlando Salido, then fought for a title right after that. Lost to Teofimo Lopez, got a world title shot right after that, I believe. I'm gonna have to do my Googles on that. Then he loses to Devin Haney. Now he's about to get another title shot after a loss. He about to fight for the IBF lightweight title of the world against George Kambosos. Yeah, he fought Gary right after. See what I mean? He's been given ample opportunity to shine. And in his biggest fights, he's lost. All right, he beat Gary. But what is the biggest fights of damn, I was about to say everybody else's name except his. The biggest fights of Lomachenko's career so far were Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. And what's his record against both of those guys? I mean, yeah, Lorenzo, the loss did set him back, but, after he lost to Teofimo, didn't he get a world title shot right after that? Let's take a look. I could be wrong, but if my memory serves me correct, let me see. He lost to Teofimo. Then he went on to fight Nakatani. Okay, so that belt, it wasn't for a belt when he fought Nakatani. But when he fought Kome, it was for a version of the WBO. Okay, so I take that back. He fought for a version of a WBO. Okay. But, Top Rank has made sure that he was always in position to get those big fights. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Because he looked like shit against Jermaine Ortiz and then jumped for undisputed right after that. Loses to Devin Haney, then is able to fight for the IBF. And the IBO. The IBO is on the line. I know we don't hold it too heavy, but That's technically a unification fight. Raul says, I think Loma is a great fighter and a future Hall of Famer, but in terms of the hype he was given, he kind of underachieved when it comes to account. Of course, bro, that's a great point. He definitely underachieved because, in all honesty, man, this was the dude that, Bob Arum was saying was the greatest fighter he's ever saw. I think, didn't he say something about him being greater than Floyd Mayweather and all this other stuff? And people were actually on blogs, having debates as to who was greater between Vasyl Lomachenko and Floyd. I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, really? Oh, we never seen nobody have the footwork that Lomachenko has. Bro, what? We never seen nobody with footwork that created angles that Loma invented this shit? Like, I'm confused. Where is this coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is this even coming from? They was calling him Nomaschenko because he moved Guillermo Rigondeaux up like 2 weight classes to fight. What was it? 3 weight classes? What, Guillermo Rigondeaux fought at 118 after that? Bro. But Lorenzo said Errol a dick eater at 90. That's crazy. Well, I guess like if we really look at the term, like dick eating and shit like that, that's pretty much what promoters do. You know what I mean? But he had 2 gold medals. He's only lost 1 fight in the amateurs. He's 396-1. Vasyl Lomachenko underachieved because every time they talk about Vasyl Lomachenko, they bring up the shit that he did in the amateurs. This nigga has been a pro for I don't know how long already. I believe he already has like 20 pro fights, and they still talking about the amateurs. If they have to bring up your amateur accolades, bro, just pay attention to what I'm telling you, bro. If they got to bring up your amateur accolades to make you look good in the pros, it's most likely because you didn't really accomplish shit in the pros, bro. Or you didn't accomplish as much in the pros that you did in the amateurs. You feel me? Like, have you ever heard, when guys didn't really accomplish it, like when Errol Spence was on the come up, they was telling, Kell Brook was telling him like, oh, you can't box. Who have you fought? He was like, I didn't become a U.S. Olympian for nothing. I didn't become a U.S. Olympian for nothing. Like, bro, nobody care about the Olympics, bro. What you doing in the pros? Bro, once you step into the pros, bro, all that amateur shit is out the window. Unless you haven't achieved shit in the pros yet. And you don't got nothing else to talk about. Like, I'll be hearing dudes with like 10 to 12 fights talking about how they won the Golden Gloves. Oh, I won the Golden Glove Nationals. All right, but you're 10-0. Who have you beat? Bro, don't nobody care about that shit, bro. Lomachenko got 20 fights, then became champion multiple times. Then became world champion multiple times. And you still talking about having 400 fights and 2 gold medals. So what? Who cares? Macho Camacho had better footwork than Loma. I just think that, that was like the first time casual boxer fans seen fighters use angles. And it's like, bro, I've seen that way before Lomachenko. I've seen fighters do it better than Lomachenko. Like, I could really say, like, in all honesty, bro, like Bam Rodriguez angles are just as good as Loma's, if not better. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how nobody feel about it, bro. Like, I don't think Bam got the angle shit from Loma. This is something that has been around for a long time, a very long time. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I think. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find this guy name. I was just watching him, Orlando. What the fuck was his name? Yeah, Orlando Canizales. I was watching him. They called him the Mexican Matrix. He was nasty, bro. Nasty. I need to check him out. Orlando Canizales. They call him the guy that angles on here. The Mexican Matrix. Go check him out, man. That was way before Vasyl Lomachenko. Yeah, Lo, that's what I was just talking about. I've been watching him. My dad put me on to him years ago. Years ago. It said Errol can't hold down King jockstrap. Bro, Don King the GOAT, bro. I don't care what nobody say. They blackballed that man from boxing because he was black, he was flashy. You know what I'm saying? He they just didn't like the fact that a black man was doing what these little white promoters was doing for years. You know what I mean? Oh, he was taking money away from fighters. He was cutting bread off of the top of fighters' paychecks, bro. All these promoters do this shit. They do that to this day. They do that to this day, bro. All the time. Don King gave you the best fights, bro. Regardless of what you say about Don King, bro, all his fighters got paid handsomely, and then they will lose this money. They will lose all the money that they earned throughout their career and then blame it on Don. As if Don owe you something. Nigga, he made sure you was paid. Well, how much Mike Tyson made hundreds of millions of dollars at the peak of his career, blew all of it, and then they want to look at Don King like it was his fault. Oh, bro, he made a lot of people rich. A lot of people ate off Don King, bro. I'm telling you. A lot of people ate off Don King, man. He didn't do that, bro. I swear on everything. Don never did anything that these promoters aren't doing right now. Don King, the GOAT. But they successfully got that man up out of boxing. Well, he's still in boxing, but he's not at his peak, obviously. But now, did y'all see that Don King about to make Blair versus Adrian Broner? I love that fight. Yo, we got 27 people in the building, man. You appreciate the content, man. Hit the like button, man. We got 27 people. Let's get 27 likes in the building, man. It is very much appreciated. But I want to talk about this real quick, man, because I spoke about Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? I spoke about, Ryan Garcia dropping dudes and sparring and shit like that, man. We got all of that understood at this point in time. Let's talk about something fun right now, man. Let's talk about the possibility of Adrian Broner and Blair the Flair Cobbs facing each other, man. I know it's not the biggest fight to be spoken about right now, but I do think that it's a slept-on fight, man. I think that it's a really good fight, if we being honest. And I really want to know who you guys got winning this fight. You know what I mean? Because Blair the Flair, he's hilarious. You know what I mean? He be speaking his mind. He don't bite his tongue. Whatever he feel like, whatever he feel in that moment, he gonna say something. Adrian Broner, hilarious. One of the funniest people in boxing history. I think that he's hilarious, bro. You know what I mean? When he not on that cornball shit, you know what I mean? He's actually a pretty funny dude. So, when I think about that fight right there, man, I think that and I've seen a lot of people speaking about Adrian Broner watching Blair. I'm like, y'all must not know Blair, especially with the point that Adrian Broner is at currently in his career. I don't think he beats Blair Cobbs. I think Blair Cobbs comes out victorious against Adrian Broner. And, I don't know how nobody else feel, but I think it's going to be in pretty good fashion. I think he beats the dog shit out of Adrian Broner right now. And, I might get bashed for that. There's probably going to be some people, oh, you don't know shit about boxing, bro. Oh. Trust me, bro. Blair Cobbs is extremely unpredictable. That man got some pop on his punches. I know people that spar Blair. I don't train in the same gym as Blair. I know who he is, bro. I know who he is. And I think that with Adrian Broner clearly being on the decline now, being a shell of himself, I think that Adrian Broner, that'll be the last we hear from Adrian Broner, like in terms of like him being relevant. You know what I mean? Because he's keep it 1,000, he's barely relevant right now. You know what I'm saying? And I see that stop motion. He says AB fans still telling him on Twitter he could become world champion again. No, they want him to be world champion again. You feel me? That's what it is. They telling him that because that's what they want to happen. They delusional. They're trying to manifest some shit. But like, if we being realistic, what division is Adrian Broner gonna become champion in? 105? Shit, that's probably the only way he get a world title is if he go fight fucking Julio Cesar Martinez or some shit. He ain't beating nobody in the weight classes that he in right now. He fluctuate between 40 and 47. Who the fuck he beating that champion right now? Really? 140? He gonna be a champion at 140 against who? Against who? Let's look at the champions right now. His best shot was Rolly, but I didn't think he was gonna beat Rolly any fucking way. So let's talk about probably the weakest link at 140 is Isaac Cruz right now. Is Adrian Broner beating Isaac Cruz? No, not at all. That'll be a terrible style for Adrian Broner at this point in his career. Subriel. I ain't even going to answer that. Devin Haney. Not at all. Boxing lesson. Fuck around, stop AB. Teofimo Lopez. Come on, y'all. Come on. That's easy work for Teofimo at this point in time. Right? So, sometimes Adrian Broner has trouble making weight at 140. Sometimes he renegotiates the weight to 147 or in between. So let's talk about the champions that are at 47. Terence Crawford, because I believe he still got the majority of the belts. He still got 3 of the major titles. Terence Crawford? Come on, man. We want this man to come home to his kids. He won't fucking with Bud. Jaron Ennis? Come on, man. This shit too easy, bro. It's like, and I don't think, and the people that are saying these comments, they either don't know boxing or they just completely delusional because everybody I just named was literally all the champions between 140 and 147. And you cannot make a case at this point in time right now that Adrian Broner could beat neither one of them dudes. I named 6 individuals. He can't beat none of them. Isaac, Tio, Haney, Subriel, that's 4. Jaron Ennis, Bud. Who can he beat out of them 6? Come on, man. Stop it. So I don't AB fans still telling him on Twitter he could become world champion. Man, stop it. If he miraculously is able to cut down to 35, like he should have been fucking doing. But let's say he miraculously finds a way to fight at 135. Who the fuck he beating there? Shakur? Shakur got the WBC. The winner of Kambosos and Loma, he not beating neither one of them. Adrian Broner destroyed himself with the habits that he had outside of the ring. He prioritized drinking, partying, doing all this type of recreational stuff, Lord knows what, over his boxing career. And he paid the price for it. He's too far off in the deep end, man. He been gone. People been holding on to the idea that Adrian Broner will be back for years. Broner has been done for years. For years. I'll tell you this is when I knew Adrian Broner was done. I think let's check it out right here. So the last of AB that we seen for real that was close to his best was Jesse Vargas. And that was a majority draw. I was there live. I was at the Barclays when this fight happened. He put on he did okay against Mikey. He probably only won like 4 rounds apiece. Probably 3 or 4 rounds he had against Mikey. But after Jesse Vargas, shit was he just deteriorated. He was done after that. Manny Pacquiao, shelled up, gun shy, showing signs of a shot fighter, in my opinion. He takes a couple years off, goes up against Giovanni Santiago, looks even worse. There was people that thought that Giovanni beat Broner. Now, I haven't watched the fight in a long time, so I can't really say. Y'all let me know. How did y'all think that he beat Giovanni Santiago clearly? Because I clearly remember people talking to me and be like, yo, that Puerto Rican dude beat Broner. I think that what destroyed AB was he prioritized other things over boxing. That's it. He just wasn't disciplined, and it cost him. They say that fighters are made in the gym, champions are made outside of the gym. This is something that I heard Brother Nazim say years ago, one of the last conversations I had with him. I was at Delco Boxing Academy training out in Glen Olden, right? Me and my dad walked out of the gym. We walked into the Walmart that was right down the block from Delco Boxing Academy, and we ran into Brother Nazim Richardson at the right outside. Like he was about to walk out the exit. We spoke for like an hour, bro. And one of the things that he told me, because at this point in time, I was competing. I was doing my thing in boxing. He said, fighters are made in the gym. Champions are made outside of the gym. And I never really understood at that point. I was young. I didn't really understand what he meant by that. I was like, I thought champions were made inside the gym. What the hell he talking about? But, as I got older and, that really stuck with me, I started to understand what he meant by that. And what he was saying was like, of course, you develop your grit, your determination, and getting in shape at the gym and stuff like that. And that's what makes you a fighter. However, what makes you a champion outside is like, staying away from junk food, making sure you're getting your road work in, studying film, studying fighters, studying possible opponents that you may have. A lot of the time that you invest in outside of the boxing gym really makes a difference in, you learning as a fighter, you being a student. You know what I'm saying? So Adrian Broner didn't follow that at all. Adrian Broner would step outside of the gym and do things that hurt him in his career. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what happened with Adrian Broner, bro. He's just a case of somebody who took his talent for granted, and I think that he's starting to regret that now. He spoke about not doing well financially. He was talking $1 million worth of game about Al Heyman keeping his money and stuff like that because he was being irresponsible with it, and then he had asked for his money, and Al Heyman was sending him like $250 a day. He was just blowing through it, just completely irresponsible, bro. And then he gets mad at PBC and Al Heyman for not getting them fights. It's like, bro, you're literally not focused. You're over here doing everything except fighting. Million Film said Tank definitely learned from Broner mistakes. I think the best thing that Gervonta Davis ever did in his career was stay away from Adrian Broner. As soon as this man stopped rocking with Adrian Broner, stopped chilling with him, bro, we never seen Fat Tank again. Do y'all remember when Tank would fight? He missed weight. He missed weight just like Adrian Broner. He fat, all drinking and partying and shit like that. He getting in trouble at clubs and shit like that. They was talking about somebody, he got gotten into a fight outside a bar with somebody, getting into all types of legal trouble, bro. This was all while he was being influenced by Adrian Broner. Yeah, Lorenzo, you know what I'm talking about. Fat Tank, bro. When he would his face would be all swollen and head all fucking large, no neck, you know what I'm saying? Big belly. Like I seen this man in Reading, PA at the Santander Arena when Robert Easter fought. I think Robert Easter fought Adrian Granados or some shit like that. Let me see because I was there. I was sitting ringside for that as well. And Adrian Broner wasn't sitting too far away from me. This man had a blazer on with a V-neck underneath, belly big as hell, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Danny Garcia. He always looked like he in top shape. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling or whatever. He always looked like he in some good shape. Broner had a blazer, a black blazer on. A black blazer. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, that was at the Santander Arena when Robert Easter fought Adrian Granados. So, black blazer, V-neck, big ass belly, bro. Clearly a beer belly. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta's right next to him. Fucking neck all shrunk into his shoulders, head big as shit. You know what I mean? Fat ass face is just all swollen. Cheekbones gone. You don't know where the fuck his cheekbones start at. You know what I mean? He just looked down bad, bro. But as soon as he separated himself from Adrian Broner, all of a sudden this dude is pretty much walking around at his fight weight. He stay in shape. He stay locked in. He's had way better performances. Like, do y'all remember the York Gamboa fight, bro? Do y'all remember the Gamboa fight? How shitty Gervonta Davis looked? I think that was a result of having a horrible training camp and, you know, probably spending the majority of the camp cutting weight. He showed me signs of a fighter who had a bad weight cut when he fought Gamboa. Just from my experience, because I've had amateurs that, like, you know, they go behind my back. You know what I'm saying? They be on weight the whole time, and then they'll put some weight on during the weekend, and then, you know, they'll spend the last week, you know, cutting weight, and then they legs dead when they fight. Boxing exposes you every time. Exposes you every fucking time, bro. I know this. You know what I'm saying? Why the hell? Then it take Tank 12 rounds to stop Gamboa. Then he stopped him in like the very last round. Do you think that if Adrian Broner, do you think if Gervonta Davis had a somewhat decent camp, he would have stopped Gamboa within 4 rounds? Raul says, I never seen Tank look fat ever since he stopped hanging with Broner. That's not a coincidence, bro. That's not a coincidence. You can't play or cheat boxing. That's a fact. A super fact, bro. I mean, you can play, you can cheat boxing, but one thing it's gonna do is gonna expose you. I promise you. Whatever you doing, it's gonna show. If you've been working your ass off, it's gonna show. You know, if you've been doing strength and conditioning, it's gonna show. You know, if you've been doing your sprints, it's going to show. But if you having sex close to the fight, it's going to show. You know, if you haven't been running like you supposed to, it's going to show. You know, it's going to show, bro. I'm telling you. If you ain't been working on your defense, it's going to show. Everything you could think of. If you cut corners, you will be exposed. You might not be exposed in your first fight or your second or maybe your 10th. But, you know, when you need it the most, it's not going to be there. And when it's not going to be there, you will be exposed, my brother. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen time and time again. Boxing humbles everybody, bro. Everybody gets humbled off boxing, despite how talented you may be or, you know, how gifted God made you. For the sport of boxing, shit, you could have been born to box. But one thing about it, bro, boxing humbles every single man. There's not one person who's seriously committed themselves to boxing who's never been humbled in the ring. Shit, I've been. And I wasn't in that long before I got sick and had to hang the gloves up. Ask anybody who's ever boxed before if they ever had a humble experience in boxing. If they haven't, they're fucking liars. And if they haven't, and if that's true, then they not involved with no real smoke. They're not in there with no real guys. They're not really getting no good work for real. They probably just in the gym full of shitty fighters, because that's possible. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it humbles every man. It'll humble the most arrogant motherfucker. I promise you that. I'm telling you. I've been a part of more than, and I'm only 26 years old, bro. I've cornered more than 50 professional bouts. I've been a part of world-class training camps. Some of these fights that y'all seen on TV, I helped contribute to that fight. I'm telling you. A lot of these fights that happen in Philly is very rare if they don't go through me on my team. Y'all heard of that Team Combat League shit? That shit started with us. We had the first Philadelphia team, and they took our team out for some strange reason. And now they over with, the people that got them complexion for the protection. You feel me? That car with and this is crazy. A lot of people don't know this shit. I've done helped matchmaking for some of these PBC events, like reaching out to pro fighters, and I'm like, yo, bro, I got 4 rounds, we got this much bread, and made these fights happen. Got my little check and went about my way. Got some free tickets to watch the PBC fight, and I've helped fighters at Eddie Hearn's stable. They was needing them sparring partners. I sent them their way. You know what I'm saying? Like this is things that like I've really been a part of. So I'm saying all this shit to say that I've been in the game long enough, bro. I know. Fuck around with boxing, you're gonna find out. And it's just like that. You feel me? So yeah, I wanted to speak on that Adrian Broner and Blair Cobb shit, bro. I think it's interesting. I think that it'll have a hell of a build-up. I think that it's going to create some hilarious moments. Blair Cobbs and Adrian Broner just talking shit back and forth is going to have definitely some quotables. You know what I mean? And, it might not be that intriguing of a fight. It might be a bad John in all honesty. Like, if I'm really keeping it 1,000. Maybe a younger Broner would have gave Blair work. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty positive that he would have, but Broner at this current state, I seen this man hitting the bag the other day, bro. This man had a whole pouch on some marsupial shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. People just need to let go of that Broner that they thought he would be, and just come to the realization that he done, yo. He done. There's gonna be some people that crash and burn along the way. Like there's gonna be some people who be at the top of their game and just fall off immediately. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be fighters that you think gonna be invincible, and then they just destroy themselves. History repeats over and over and over again. You said Team Combat League a joke anyway. Well, I'll tell you what. That Philadelphia team that the Team Combat League got, that's a fucking bomb squad right there. Y'all might not know majority of them dudes, but, bro, Philadelphia team ain't nothing to fuck with, bro. They got a nasty squad. They could do better in the female department, for sure. But, like, the rest, like, the males that are, they got Joey DeWaco, who was like a fucking teenager in Kent with the Klitschko brothers who done been around the block. They got Quadira Albright, who definitely gonna be making some noise at 147 in the future. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for him. They got Elijah Vines, who's a problem, bro. He's a fucking beast at 154, bro. I just hope that these guys, make the right career choices and have the right teams around them. They had Ray Robinson. Shit, bro. They got a lot of fucking dudes, bro. Angel Pizarro, he's a great talent as well. Avery Sparrow, bro. They got a fucking squad, bro. Gonna be like Kimbo Slice when that fought Dada 3000. Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I was a huge fan of Kimbo Slice, bro. I love Kimbo Slice. When I was a young boy, bro, I had a little corner in my mom's crib where I had like a whole desktop, right? And I was a kid, bro. I had to be like 8, 9, maybe 10 years old, going on YouTube looking for Kimbo Slice fights, bro. And they would drop, bro. And I'll be like one of the first motherfuckers that watch, bro. I love watching those street fights. I was always like infatuated with like fights and shit. You know what I mean? I used to like to fight myself. I used to be fighting on the block. My fucking neighbors would bring me home to my mom. She fucking She used to be like, damn, I can't do nothing with this boy. Like, I used to love fighting myself, so I used to love watching like street fights and shit like that. And Kimbo Slice was the man at one point. You know what I'm saying? And bro, he couldn't be fading on no street shit, bro. And bro, I was like, bro, who is this guy? Like, yo, the big ass beard. He has to have the chains, and he used to hop out the Suburban. You know what I'm saying? They used to put some crazy bread up, and they used to rumble. He used to beat the dog shit out of everybody. You know what I mean? So I was a huge Kimbo Slice fan, um even when he went over to the UFC, bro. I was rooting for him heavy. I knew that he was at a crazy disadvantage, but the fact that he actually got wins over some credible dudes when he had no business being in the octagon was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he beat Houston Alexander. He beat Ken Shamrock. Like, he beat dudes that he had no business beating. But he was just that special of a dude, man. Like, he had a different type of dog in him. And watching that fight with Dada 3000, bro, I knew it was a wrap for Kimbo after that. You know what I'm saying? That was really sad to see. That was embarrassing, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to really make of that. I believe he passed away from he had like a heart attack or something. Probably wasn't taking care of himself. But yo, Kimbo was the man, bro. Fucked with Kimbo heavy. I see that his son is a mixed martial artist. Yeah, you know what I mean? So shout out to Kimbo, man. We got 24 people in the building, man. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in right now, man. Let's get them likes up. You know what I mean? If you haven't hit the like button already, I believe we got 30 likes, man. That's very much appreciated for sure. You know what I mean? But RIP Kimbo Slice, man. You know what I mean? Really fucked with dude heavy. I just like that he was against all odds and he still made something of himself and made an impact on the world. You know what I mean? With the little bit that he had, he made the most of it. With the little bit of experience that he had in MMA, he made the most of it. So shout out to that boy Kimbo, man. Hope he resting in peace. Shout out to that boy Kimbo, man. You feel me? So I'm gonna say this too, because I've seen people like saying that, they would like to see the rematch between Zoo and Fundora and shit like that. Let's see this. Stop Motion MMA with the $5 super chat, man. He says, shout out to the boy for the super chat. He says, who you got winning, Prime Paulie Malignaggi or current Rolly Romero? Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna say Prime Paulie Malignaggi. Natural born fighter. Yeah, Lorenzo. That's exactly what Kimbo was. But back to the question. I'm gonna say Prime Paulie. I think that his fast hands, his combination punching, and his like overall mobility with a frustrated Rolly, I think he would outbox Rolly. You see what I mean? I don't think I seen Paulie, and Paulie's a dog. You know what I mean? Paulie was a dog. Like, I seen the type of punishment that he absorbed from a prime Kodo, bro. And I didn't see that man really looking to quit at all. He had a broken orbital bone, all type of shit. Paulie done been through the trenches, bro. Paulie, I didn't really like those comments that he had made back in the day when he got fired from commentating on Showtime and shit. But I give credit when it's due. You know what I mean? I think that he would have outboxed Rolly Romero. I think he would have just peppered him up. Hit him with some little light shit, get up out the way, had Rolly swinging, missing. You know what I mean? So, I got Prime Paulie over current Rolly. You know what I mean? What's next for Rolly? What y'all think is next for Rolly in all honesty, bro? Because, I think Rolly Romero, my dad was talking about it. He was like, yo, the only way he could like get himself back in the mix is if he go fight that old head, rematch that old head again, Ismael Barroso. But I got to thinking about it. And I'm like, I don't think Barroso would take it. I don't think that Barroso's team would take it at this point in time because they're in their 40s. So they're looking for a world title opportunity ASAP. So that's one. Two, I believe they are the number one contender for the WBA title at lightweight, right? So with that being known, they're not going to fight Rolly, who's no longer a champion, and then they might possibly lose their spot. Opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tables turn, bro. It don't really make sense for Barroso to fight Rolly right now. He just watched O'Hara Davies, who was supposed to be Rolly's mandatory, and that put him in position. So Isaac Cruz might have to fight Barroso. So if I'm Barroso, I'm fighting Isaac. I'm not fighting Rolly for what? He didn't want to give me an opportunity. He lost. He on the back burner now. So now it just leaves me and Pitbull. I'm gonna go fight Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that that's the way for Rolly to get back. In all honesty, man, I think he should wait for Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight because I think there's a strong likelihood that Ryan Garcia loses, right? In all honesty, Rolly should be banking on Ryan Garcia losing because, you know, if they both losers, then they should have every reason to fight each other. Where is Ryan gonna go? He not what he gonna go. He's not gonna be able to get that Tank rematch if he loses to Devin. So they'll both be on the second loss of their career. You know what I mean? They could both take some tune-ups in between and then fight each other. That's what I think. I think that they could still make some money if they were to do that. And then whoever loses that fight just gotta go the fuck on with they, you know what I mean? They gotta go sip a pina colada somewhere and get the fuck up out of boxing because, you know, they're gonna lose all relevancy after that. But I think that's the best thing for Rolly at this time. You know, Rolly said, yeah, I seen that interview of Rolly saying he'd go to 47, but I don't believe that shit, bro. It's too much. Them people too big up there for Rolly, man. You know what I mean? Who the fuck Rolly gonna fight at 47? Barrios? You know what I mean? Barrios might cook him, bro. Barrios could punch and he could box. And he has a very good offense. He might bust Rolly up. You know what I mean? You know, Barrios coming off of the biggest win of his career. He got a former world champion on his resume. They gotta come correct. And then Barrios on top of that, you know, I think he would rather fight Jaron Ennis than Rolly Romero. It might be more money in the Jaron Ennis fight than Rolly. AB versus Rolly. Yeah. But you know, I think that Don King making a little in-house fight happen right now. He got Blair, he got AB, so he gonna make them fight each other. Keep that shit in the crib. Old head, yeah, Barroso and Pitbull is a solid scrap. Yeah, I think Pitbull stops him. You know what I mean? I think he gonna come out hot, but I think Isaac will get him. I think Isaac gonna end up clipping him. I don't like Ben, but Ben would do Rolly how he did Algieri. That was a bad job, bro. I fuck with Chris Algieri too. That was kind of sad to see, really. Yeah, Ben probably too strong for Rolly. But you know, ever since Ben got caught, you know what I mean? Them punches don't look like they got the same steam on them. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. Cause now I see Ben hit dudes and they not going nowhere now. Rolly should fight Pete Dobson. That'd be a good job. That'd be that I like that. I like that. That's under the assumption that he goes to 47 though. You know what I mean? Because Rolly say a lot of shit, but he don't be doing it. So sometimes he just be talking. You know what I mean? So let's hold off on that. Let's not believe Rolly right away. Because I think that he will stay at 140 for an opportunity to fight Ryan. He'll stay there for one or two more fights. You know what I mean? And whatever happens after that, then maybe he'll move up. You know what I mean? I don't believe Rolly. Rolly's not somebody to just hold his word, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, really put heavy value on it. He be capping sometimes. You feel me? So if I'm Rolly Romero, what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm resting. That's one. You know what I mean? Especially if you get cooked like that, you're gonna have like 2-week-old headaches and shit like that. You're gonna have to fall back for a little bit. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes up from bright lights and all that. You know what I mean? You on concussion protocol. You feel me? So that's what we doing. Then, you know what I mean, we going back, trying to keep that weight low or whatever. And old man Barroso ain't no joke. He definitely rumble. He nasty, for sure. That ain't somebody you play with. You know what I mean? Go on vacation. If I'm Rolly, go on vacation, you know what I mean? Enjoy your couple months or whatever. Pay attention to that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight and just hope that Ryan Garcia lose, which most likely he will. From there, you can start running your mouth. Like, yo, you know what I mean? We both came up short in our last bouts. Let's put on an exciting fight for the fans. You feel what I mean? We still, you know what I mean? And whoever, that he could say some shit like, yeah, like, nigga, whoever lose gotta retire from the sport type shit. You know what I mean? Just talk shit back to each other, back and forth. That'll get the fans involved. The fans will want to see that, bro. The fans will want to will want to see that. Yeah, really not disciplined at all. I remember one time he stepped on a scale and it was like 175. And I'm like, bro, you fight at 35. What the fuck is you doing? Cutting 40 pounds for a fight, that's dangerous, bro. That's what be causing them brain injuries and shit like that. When you cutting so much water out your system and wearing them sauna suits and shit like that, that take the liquid from you and fluids from your brain. And, when you lose that fluid in your brain and shit, it loses that cushion that, let me see. Let me see the best way to explain this. See, there's a shit called cerebrospinal fluid that acts like a cushion that helps protect your brain and spinal cord from sudden impact or injury. So that's what that's called right there. That type of fluid can be drained from your system if you're cutting weight and is no longer able to pull water from your system. You see what I'm saying? So if you're cutting a massive amount of water from your system and the body has no more water to pull from, it'll start pulling the fluid that acts like a cushion that helps protect your brain and stuff like that, which is why a lot of people, when they cut weight in bad ways, they lose punch resistance. You ever seen them MMA fighters? The MMA fighters, I've witnessed MMA fighters cut 25, 30 pounds the week of the fight, which is complete insanity to me. Like boxers, they lose weight progressively. Like, you know what I mean? They cut weight the right way in my camp. But MMA fighters, they got like a whole different system. Wrestlers too. You see what I mean? And this is why, like, when MMA fighters, they'll get hit with light shots and they'll just go out. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying? It's because, their weight cuts really hurt them, man. When you cutting so much water from your system, it starts pulling from the fluid that's in your brain. The smallest shots can have the biggest impact on you, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah, Ralph, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about when Conor McGregor was cutting down to 145. Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know how the fuck. Yo, Conor is a big motherfucker, bro. Conor McGregor was easily walking around in the 145 days, 175, 180. Easy. I don't know how the hell he was cutting that low. And then I don't know how this man will rehydrate, bro. Like, how would he rehydrate? And he'll look like a totally different person the next day. I'm assuming it's some type of IVs or fluids that he was doing, but, he was the definition of a weight bully, bro. Definition of a weight bully, dog. Like, and he will punish them small dudes down there, bro. his best moments was punching on small 145 guys like Chad Mendez and shit like that. Man, they ain't have no business being in the ring with Conor big ass. As soon as Conor got in there with dudes that was his size, he started getting his dumb ass tore up. You know what I mean? After that Eddie Alvarez shit, and then he went over to boxing, he just completely became a different fighter. You went from beating Dustin Poirier ass to coming back into the octagon and then getting your ass cooked by Dustin Poirier. Crazy how the tables turn. You went 1-0 against this dude, and now you 2-1 against him with a broke leg. Yo, you know what I peeped though? I didn't know that Conor McGregor and Max Holloway fought each other. I was looking at that the other day. I was like, what? Had no idea they fought each other real early in their career. GSP, one of the greatest of all time. I got him in my Mount Rushmore. GSP retired and came back and knocked out the middleweight champ. Yeah, he came back and he stopped. No, I think he choked out. I think he submitted Michael Bisping. Yeah. Yeah, Max was underdeveloped. He became a way better fighter after that. I think Dustin did too, though. Dustin at 45 and Dustin at 55, they two totally different fighters. For sure. You said GSP or Usman? I got GSP all day. But what was interesting about GSP was he admitted on the Joe Rogan podcast that in preparation for Michael Bisping and moving up in weight, he ended up being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is what I have. The reason why I had to stop boxing. You know what I mean? But, you know, he got access to, like, doctors and medicine that, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get access to. So he was able to maintain his symptoms better. You know, I had severe ulcerative colitis. He had a mild form, so he was able to still perform, you know. But it was interesting that he was dealing with a chronic illness in the build-up to the Michael Bisping fight and still came out on top. That was inspirational, man. That made me like really feel like, yeah, like if I really wanted to, I could come back into this boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? Which I still think about. You feel me? But I don't know if that's gonna happen for real. But yeah, GSP, one of the greatest ever in my opinion. I got my goats, my Mount Rushmore for real. John Jones, regardless of what people say, that's the greatest mixed martial artist to ever live. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't nobody got the resume that he got or dominated like he did. So I'm gonna say GSP. Now I'm gonna say John Jones, GSP, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, and I got one more. I'm probably gonna get that to Demetrius Johnson, man. I'll probably get that to Mighty Mouse. I think Mighty Mouse is one of the most underappreciated champions to ever step in that octagon, bro. You say Khabib, but I feel like he didn't do enough, man. I think that right when he started popping, he walked away, which is understandable. His father passed away. He didn't want to do it without his father. That's cool. You know what I mean? But I think Demetrius Johnson, I think that boy goated, man. He said the difference between John Jones and GSP number. I mean, you don't know GSP lifestyle. Why you assuming he never did coke? How you know that? You don't know that, man. You don't be around him. Is it me or does Teofimo remind me Tony Ferguson? Yeah, they got the same. They both cuckoo. They both be saying some wild shit. They cut from the same cloth when it come to that. Mighty Mouse was the man, bro. That's crazy that they traded Mighty Mouse for Ben Askren, bro. You know how this is. That's some of the dumbest shit they ever did, bro. GSP never cheat. I mean, that's cool. I mean, he didn't use coke to cheat though. John Jones was doing that for recreational purposes. He did that because that's just how he wanted to party. He was a hard partying motherfucker. You know what I mean? And they was talking about the picogram shit, whatever, bro. Anderson Silva tested positive for a banned substance too. You know what I mean? So we gonna discredit Anderson Silva as well. There's a lot of dudes who tested that was using performance enhancement drugs that y'all still be giving props to this day. You know what I mean? Like y'all be praising Chael Sonnen. That boy is that man told you he was on the shit. Nah, I never heard of GSP using performance enhancement drugs. Ben had the complexion for the protection. Oh yeah, yeah. That Masvidal knee changed that man's life. Off topic. I mean, it's never off topic if we talking boxing, my brother. He says, who you got, Better Beef or Bivol? This to me is the best fight in boxing. It's just as good as Spence Crawford. Uh, yeah, I guess. I was more into the welterweight division, in all honesty. But I see what you're saying. It has that much importance. Damn, bro. I ain't watch. You talking about the Hendricks? I ain't watched that fight in so long, bro. That was a while back. But going back to this Better Beef or Bivol question, I don't know, man. Like, because I think the only thing that's concerning for me is Better Beef's age. You know what I mean? And when you get to that particular age that Better Beef is currently in, I believe he's 39. You could look old at any moment. At any moment. You know what I mean? It could be possible that he'll look old against Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol is younger. I think will also help, but what helps Better Beef is he hasn't really absorbed a lot of punishment in his career because he usually steamrolls everybody he gets in there with. So, man, that's tough, bro. Because Dimitri Bivol, he has good punch output. You know what I mean? He hasn't gotten any stoppages lately, but, he's been rising to the occasion. He rose against Canelo Alvarez. He beat up on Gilberto Ramirez. He got good straight shots. You know what I mean? Better Beef, on the other hand, he's a come forward, mauling type fighter, man. He applies a lot of pressure. He lets his hands go, and he has a shit ton of power. I think he has the highest knockout ratio amongst champions right now. So, man, something's telling me Arthur Better Beef might really impose his will on Bivol, but then something's just telling me that Bivol just might have the output necessary to keep Better Beef on a defense. But it's a great fight, bro. This is definition of a 50-50 fight. Said John Jones is the Carlos Monzon of MMA. Didn't Carlos Monzon body his wife or something like that? I think Carlos Monzon is a lot worse than John Jones. Maybe I got the information wrong on Carlos Monzon, but I believe Monzon bodied his wife. I like Bivol approach and ring IQ. Yeah, he's a very intelligent fighter. He understands distance real well, and he lets his hands go. He's in great shape. I just don't know how he's gonna deal with Better Beef's pressure, and what is he gonna do? Cause I've seen Bivol rock before. You know what I'm saying? How is he gonna do against one of the biggest punchers in the sport of boxing? And how will he be able to handle the smoke when Better Beef may possibly step on the gas on him? If he gets Bivol hurt, it's gonna be a bad John, bro. What? Yeah, Monzon's on a totally different level than John Jones. Don't disrespect John Jones like that. John Jones ain't cut from that Monzon cloth. He like to have his fun, and his anger might get the best of him sometimes, but nah, Monzon, that's a dude who got real issues. He might have had them CTE issues before like people started really finding out about that type shit. I think Better Beef cuts off the ring and stops Bivol before round 9. Bivol is a hell of a fighter. Better Be too strong and, believe it or not, technical. Oh, he's definitely technical. That's a great observation. I think that's what people really underestimate about Better Beef, and I thought he showed that in the Joe Smith fight. Joe Smith was coming out all reckless, and Better Beef was showing some skill in there. You know what I mean? Running them into shots and just being patient, staying composed, and just letting the shot come, letting the kill shot come. You know what I mean? And ultimately, he lined Joe Smith up and got him up out of there. So I agree with you in terms of him being technical. He does have skill, but his skill is really going to be put to the test against somebody like Bivol. You know what I mean? He got rhythm. You know what I mean? He could punch off the bounce, which a lot of people can't really do. A lot of fighters got to set their feet before they punch. Bivol, he could come in and out of range and let go some straight shots. You see what I'm saying? Khabib versus GSP. Many people want this fight. That would have been a great fight, man. I think GSP all around was a more well-rounded fighter than Khabib. Um, but will he been able to defend? How would his takedown defense be against Khabib? That'd be a very interesting thing to see. But in terms of like well-roundedness, GSP is probably the most well-rounded fighter there's ever been in MMA. Monzon, Valero, and Benoit come from the same cloth. That's a fact, Lorenzo. Them dudes, they on some other shit. I'm trying to tell you, I think them dudes was they was like really suffering from CTE before that shit really started, being acknowledged and talked about for real. I think all three of them dudes suffered from that. I think Edwin Valero had like a bad motorcycle accident. I don't know I don't know too much on Monzon, but assuming he's a boxer, he might have taken a lot of damage. And Chris Benoit, he used to slam his head into like the ring post and all types of stuff. He used to do like real crazy scenes, and he did pump himself up with a lot of drugs as well, which could also be a factor. But yeah, I mean, I was under I was under the assumption that you was talking about Khabib and GSP, like both in a prime, like on some fantasy matchup type shit. But I mean, yeah, GSP is not in his prime. That's true. John Wall, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was into a lot of drugs. Probably couldn't like get himself together. I heard when they did an autopsy on Ben Walt's brain that it was fried though. I don't know though. That was something I heard. GSP really he had some good boxing with him too. He used to train with Freddie Roach, so he had that shit down pat. He pretty much could do everything. So GSP, he understood. He was just a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore. A little bit of MMA talk. You know what I mean? I'm more on the casual side when it comes to MMA, but John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, which I think Anderson Silva is the greatest striker in MMA history. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody keep talking about Israel Adesanya. Man, please, he ain't touching prime Spider. He ain't touching prime Spider Silva though. And Demetrius Johnson, I think he the most slept on fighter to ever get in the octagon. You know what I'm saying? GSP was the favorite fighter of Khabib dad. I didn't know that. That's dope. MVP. MVP. Well, I was talking about MVP. MVP could definitely strike. I think Prime Silver got it though. I think MVP modeled himself after Anderson Silva for real. The showboating and all that shit. I think he got that shit from Anderson. That's a fact, bro. Israel Adesanya was that boy overrated like shit. I don't care what nobody say. Silva was the Roy Jones of MMA for a time. That's a fact. Yeah, and he paid for that just relying on his reflexes when he fought fuck, what was that dude name that clipped him and then he broke his leg against him too? White dude. Damn. I forgot his name. But like he was like showboat Chris Weidman, thank you. Chris Weidman. Yeah. Chris Weidman clipped him, then he rematched him. He kicked Chris Weidman's leg, His shit snapped in half. I watched that shit live in my step-pop mom crib. Bad John. Most overrated MMA fighter of all time. I'm not gonna say Adesanya is a hype job. He got skills, but they was like saying he may possibly be the greatest striker. Man, stop it. Most overrated fighter. Brock Lesnar is a good one. Lorenzo, he might very well be. Brock Lesnar definitely up there. Damn. How was Chuck Liddell? Was he good? Cause I thought that he was just strong. I thought he couldn't fight for shit, but I don't know too much on Chuck Liddell. They probably be using him as like a meme for real. But I would say Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, like, what's crazy was he beat a lot of guys that went on to become champion afterwards, but when he beat them, they wasn't champion. Definitely wasn't overrated. She was just feeling herself. She lost touch of who she was. Because wasn't she like a fucking beast at judo? And then she had knocked like one girl out, and then all of a sudden thought she was a power puncher. She neglected what she was great at. It's like she got bored with the judo and then was like trying to prove that she was some type of striker that went in there with an actual fucking striker, Holly Holm, and got cooked. Yeah, Evans. Yeah, Ralph, and that's crazy. He pissed me off with that too. He was showboating and got clipped and stopped. That same thing happened to MVP. He was showboating. You know what I mean? Then the dude kicked his leg or whatever the situation was, and then he tried to come back up. He got clipped and knocked out. Yeah, Rashad Evans KO at Chuck Liddell was top tier, bro. Then Rampage knocked Chuck Liddell out too. Rampage is one of my favorite on his prime Rampage Jackson, bro. I had my PSP, bro. I had a PSP at the time. And you could download like videos off of like websites and shit like that. I used to download all these Rampage Jackson highlights, bro. I used to fuck with Rampage heavy. That was my guy. Yeah, Rampage knocked Liddell out in like 10 seconds. I don't know, bro. I gotta see Chuck Liddell. Yeah, you said Chuck Liddell in his prime a GOAT. He had a lot of power, bro. I used to love when he used to beat the shit out of Tito Ortiz, bro. I couldn't stand that motherfucker, bro. I hated Tito Ortiz. Hating ass. He's a fucking weirdo. Rampage was definitely him. He had that mean streak to him, bro. He had that mean streak to him. He's like, oh, he's be doing all that shit, bro. You could tell people feared him when he was in there, bro. He was goated. Yeah, Rampage was definitely him. He was a killer. Yeah, he power bombed dude. Yeah, he put boy to sleep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Rampage was goated. I think Tito Ortiz worse than Teofimo because Teofimo actually say some smart shit sometimes. I think Tito's just all the way burnt out. I just think he not intelligent at all. Teofimo, he say some real shit sometimes, but he a little cuckoo. But Tito, he just full blown, just cooked for sure. But yeah, Rampage is my guy, bro. My guy for sure. It was sad seeing him go out like that against John Jones. That shit was sad, bro. I love the knockout from against Wanderlei. He knocked Wanderlei smooth out. Yeah. Rampage was different. CT ESPN. You petty as shit, J Cash. Prime, bro. That young John Jones, bro. I'm trying to tell you, that's the greatest mixed martial artist ever. Joe Rogan said it, bro. Trust me. That's the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. I used to watch. I used to watch Pride with my step pop. Yeah, I know that Wanderlei had beat him too, but the John when Rampage knocked Wanderlei out. That was a crazy John. John Jones was different. Yeah, Lorenzo, them oblique kicks that John Jones gave Rampage destroyed him. But Rampage said he just got stem cell. He got stem cells done like on his knees and some shit like that. He got stem cells, so he recovering from that right now. Stem cells. If you got the money for it, bro, and you got like something, you got something tweaking on you. I heard them stem cells do miracles for sure. What you think about Oscar Clown and Rolly? What goes around comes around, bro. Like Rolly. Listen, when you what Denzel say? He said that shit in Equalizer. He said when you pray for the rain, you gotta deal with the mud too. So meaning, you know, you might be doing shit, whatever shit you doing, you gotta deal with the cons. You mean it's never a situation where everything you do has all pros to it. Whenever you got pros, you gotta deal with the cons too. So what Rolly Romero did when he initially got that fight with Pitbull was shit on Oscar De La Hoya for no reason. You know what I mean? He was saying fuck Golden Boy, fuck Oscar, was disrespecting him and all types of stuff. You know what I mean? And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Oscar ever disrespected Rolly. You know what I mean? They just couldn't come to a deal or whatever the situation was. So he blatantly disrespected Oscar for no reason. Then he had that John. Like Oscar was showing how like Rolly fight, and he do be fighting like that. And Rolly had put up like a video of him acting like he was like partaking in that ooh wee. You know what I'm saying? So you talking crazy about Oscar, and then you have a performance like that. I mean, he could. You can't tell another man how to react. So if that's how he feel, then that's how he feel. And there ain't nothing that Rolly could really say about it to make Oscar look bad, because at the end of the day, you started it. You know what I mean? Oscar just finished it though. And Rolly had some funny moments, but Oscar had the last laugh at the end of the day. And it's really that simple. He had that ooh wee. Yeah. Oh, see, I ain't know that, J Cash. I ain't know that at all. Rolly lost because of that Chihuahua chain. That definitely didn't help, but I think I think that chain or not, I just think that he was assed out stylistically. There was nothing he could do uh, that could defeat Pitbull, man. And it's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. He couldn't beat Isaac. He couldn't outbox him. He couldn't go toe for toe with him. So what can you really do, man? Rolly's limited as it is. He don't got much tools. Let's see. But like I said, y'all, go check out the video that I had put up around an hour ago, probably like 2 hours by now. Terence Crawford versus the politics of boxing, his toughest opponent yet. Will PBC try to avoid him again? I speak about this is one of my best informational videos that I had put out yet, man. Go take a look at that video. You know what I'm saying? It was I definitely got the talking on there. Spoke about the highs and lows of Terence Crawford's career. all the tribulations that he had to overcome and what he's dealing with currently. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for that, John, man. Go check that video out after this live because I'm about to get off here in a little bit. You know what I mean? And go check it out, man. Hit the like button, of course. You know, keep supporting the channel like y'all been, man. But let's see. I don't get Rolly fighting. This is Ralph, by the way. I don't get Rolly fighting off the back foot, knowing he doesn't have a good fight IQ and boxing skills. Well, I think he did that because he didn't know what else to do. You know what I mean? I think since the Gervonta Davis fight, he doesn't believe in his chin how he used to. You know what I mean? He's gotten hurt several times since the Gervonta Davis fight. And I think that he felt Isaac Cruz's power and he made a decision in his head that he didn't want to feel that anymore, or he didn't want to get caught with that shot anymore. So he did what he felt was necessary to try to avoid the power. But the problem is he's not good on the back foot. He has zero lateral movement. So it was only a matter of time before Pitbull chased him down and cracked him with another shot. And then the thing is, while he's giving you this movement, he literally has his hands down to his chest. So all Isaac had to do was come in with an overhand, and he was going to clip him. And whichever, like if he was going to walk to Isaac's left, then he would have ran into the left hook. If he'd have walked to Isaac's right, he would have ran into an overhand right. So he don't have the tools, bro. He don't have the tools. You feel me? That's just what it is, man. It was just a bad style matchup. They were to fight 10 times, Isaac will win 10 times. It's just a stylistic thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really just a stylistic thing at the end of the day. It's nothing personal. You know what I mean? Rolly could be successful against certain guys, but that one right there, he's not going to do well against. He will have an easier fight with Ryan than Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Favorite fight on the PBC on Prime card? It was the Isaac and Rolly one for me. You know, I was kind of disappointed with Tim Tszyu and Fundora because I thought that cut on Tszyu really interfered with, you know, Tszyu's ability. I think it discouraged him. I think that took away from his momentum because prior to the cut, he was doing well. You know what I'm saying? I think that just interfered and it took away from his performance, which is why, like, I wouldn't be necessarily like pissed off if they rematched each other. I just don't feel like that necessarily needs to be next. You feel me? I think that the Bud Crawford fight should come first. I mean, that's just me though. Lara smoking Zarafa, that was a knockout right there, bro. He put that nigga on World Star. You heard? Definitely put that nigga on World Star. Yeah, that's a great point, Ralph. He uses reach, he uses his height, and he won the fight. That's what he should have been doing. What he should have been doing. But he did it in the moment that mattered most, and he's currently the unified champion at 154. So I guess it paid off because I was under the assumption, just like everybody else, that he was going to give up his reach and his height, but he didn't. He had a hell of a training camp. He still focused to the game plan, which is not easy to do, but he still did it, and he came out on top. So I guess that's what matters, bro. Oh, shit, stop motion. I didn't even know that. Damn. That shit, I don't even know what to say about that. That's crazy. Zoo landed a few straights to the body and shit like that, but I think he could have emphasized it more. There was a few situations where he landed like some straight rights to the body and shit like that, but he didn't make it like imperative in his game plan to, like, you know, continuously go there. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. Sebastian Fundora got him, and he got some choices to make, man. Yeah, y'all wilding, bro. Bringing up that man's sister. That I didn't even know none of that. Yeah, Lorenzo, I think that, I mean, maybe he could have, but I think that he was more focused on the blood that was interfering with his vision. For real, for real. I think that's what yeah, that seemed to take his focus away overall. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna go get my ass some rest. I've been on here for 2 hours and some change. You know what I mean? I apologize for what had gone on earlier with the live stream, man. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but hopefully uh next time I go on there, we won't be having this issue. Like I said, I'm not really understanding of what exactly happened. You know what I mean? Because the Wi-Fi is literally right by this window right here. That little box right there. Wait, hold on. This little box right here is literally my Wi-Fi box. So I don't know how it could have, low connection or unstable internet connection when my laptop is literally telling me that it has great uh signal. You know what I'm saying? But we'll figure that out, man. If I gotta reset the laptop or whatever the fuck, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But my apologies for the inconvenience with that. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great live. We got some good conversations, and shout out to everybody that donated in the super chat as well. So I'm gonna get up out of here, give me some rest, because I'm only gonna have like 6 hours rest, 5 hours rest going into work tomorrow. But it is what it is, man. That's part of the grind. You know what I mean? That's what sets you apart from everybody else. So I'm gonna give me some rest, take me a shower, all that good shit, man. But until then, this was Mazuma TV. Thank you guys very much for tuning in tonight. I'll be back with a video. Uh, be back with some videos tomorrow, and I'll be going live tomorrow night as well. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, I'm out of here, man. Peace.